The Saharan sun blazed with a murderous intensity, but for Dr. Zack, an icy dread had already seeped into his bones. His team had stumbled upon something forbidden, a hidden pyramid, swallowed by sand for millennia. Its entrance wasn't marked with the usual celebratory carvings. Instead, grotesque faces, contorted in silent screams, were etched into the stone. This was no tomb for a king. It was a prison built to contain an unspeakable evil. Inside, the air was thick, foul with the scent of dried blood and dust that hadn't moved for 4,000 years. The silence was a physical presence, a heavy, suffocating blanket that pressed against their sanity. Hieroglyphs crawled across the walls, not as art, but as a warning. They told of the Shadow King, a sorcerer of such profound wickedness that his own people performed the Great Unmaking, a ritual to tear his spirit from his body and trap it with a web of cursed scarabs. Dr. Zack, a man dedicated to logic, felt his skepticism crumble. He cataloged the artifacts, obsidian scarabs that pulsed with a faint, dark heartbeat, ceremonial daggers encrusted with ancient, desiccated gore, and at the chamber's heart, the amulet of binding, a relic that throbbed with a sickly, unnatural glow. As his team, including his sharp-witted partner Lena, worked, a palpable dread clung to them. Their minor squabbles twisted into venomous, hateful whispers. Their eyes, once curious, now held a vacant darkness. The Shadow King was stirring. That night, a chilling terror began. Dr. Zack lay in his tent, haunted by disturbing visions of his ancestors, their faces a canvas of fear, their mouths open in silent screams. He woke with a jolt, his palm searing. A new mark, a searing scarab shape, was branded on his skin. A terrifying shriek tore through the silence of the desert. He found his team's guard, his face torn to ribbons by his own nails, whispering a chilling phrase over and over. "They are whispering. They are whispering." The next morning, Lena's eyes held a dead, glassy stare. Her face was a mask of placid indifference, her movements a grotesque parody of her former self. She approached Dr. Zack, her voice eerily calm. "You know what they want. They want you." She smiled, a cold, empty gesture, her teeth stained with a dark, viscous substance. The smile widened into a terrifying grimace as she lunged at him, her fingers curling like claws. Escaping Lena's attack, Dr. Zack found an ancient diary hidden in her bag, the journal of his own ancestor. The pages were filled with horrifying accounts. The Great Unmaking was no heroic feat, but an act of desperation. The Shadow King was too powerful to be simply imprisoned. His essence had to be bound to a bloodline. His own family, the Tharn, or Sentinels, had agreed to this eternal curse, their souls forever tied to the monster they trapped. The diary ended with a final, desperate warning. The blood that seals is the blood that opens. Looking at the diary, Dr. Zack noticed a faint outline of the scarab mark, identical to the one on his hand. He was the next in line. He was the key. Now, his only hope was to complete the ritual to re-entomb the spirit, a process so horrifying it was meant to be forgotten. Returning to the chamber, Dr. Zack found it transformed. The walls bled black, viscous liquid, and a swirling vortex of shadows and malevolent energy coalesced before him. Lena and the possessed team members moved in a grotesque, unnatural sync, their joints cracking with every step. Lena's body twisted as the Shadow King's true form emerged, a towering shadow with glowing red eyes. In a last, desperate act, Dr. Zack raised the shattered remnants of the amulet of binding. The Shadow King's voice roared in his mind. "Your ancestors were fools. You are just like them." But Dr. Zack channeled his ancestors' terrified strength. He slammed the amulet fragments onto the vortex. The Shadow King shrieked, a sound that seemed to tear the very fabric of reality as he was dragged back into his eternal prison. The pyramid groaned and began to crumble, the Great Unmaking echoing in its destruction. Dr. Zack barely escaped the collapsing pyramid. He fell to the ground, exhausted, his palm throbbing with the cursed mark. He was not a hero. He was now a sentinel, a guardian bound by blood and fire to a secret that could shatter the world. The brand on his hand throbbed, a constant, chilling whisper. The ancient darkness slept, but it was always waiting, and he was the only thing standing in its way. His life as an archaeologist was over. His curse had just begun.